Well, my evening classes of the 80s were not entirely useless. They included law, sociology, psychology, and so on. Human biology was quite useful as well. Yeah, those would be about the most useful, I guess, of the ones I did. But I actually wanted to do a degree in criminology. Really some sort of combination of psychology, sociology, and law. The moral question at the moment is, and not many people really dispute it, whether Cameron should have evaded tax for so long, being a multimillionaire and all that. Now, unless the laws have changed, tax avoidance, I beg your pardon, avoided tax. Tax avoidance is legal. Tax evasion is not. And basically, of course, the former, which is legal, is easier for multimillionaires such as Cameron. If Mr. Bloggs down the road, who's earning minimum wage, didn't pay tax, he would be done for tax evasion. This is the socialist in me coming back out, good heavens above. And of course, the moral questions which were posed to us were far more easy for most of us to answer. Well, no, as far as I'm concerned, that's easy. If you have millions of pounds and are systematically starving the poor and the sick by cutting their benefits back and back and back and making them homeless, then really you should pay your fair whack of taxes and not accuse other people of being a scrounger, or scroungers plural. Look who's talking. Our moral questions are things more like, if your wife is dying of cancer, and this would have to be from America at the moment, although it's coming here soon, and you can't afford the drugs that she needs, how justified would you be, or would you be justified in breaking into a chemist in order to steal the drugs? I think most people said yes, you would. But a Tory would not say any such thing. Because to a Tory, the pane of glass in the chemist's window and the profit lost by the chemist is far more important than the life of any human being. Yes, I am pissed off. I'm very, very pissed off at the suggestion that socialists are more likely to break the law than conservatives. That depends. Different standards of morality, methinks. I think a Tory would probably only ever break the law if it benefited him or her, whereas a lefty might break the law in circumstances such as I've just outlined. Or, let's face it, might you perhaps nick a McDonald's if you, don't have anything to eat and you're sleeping on the pavement. It reminds me of Les Miserables. What did he do in prison? Was it 19 years? Originally for stealing a loaf of bread because his sister's children were starving. These days, I would like to think that he would not even get, well, he might get probation or whatever the equivalent is, I can't remember, or community service, but not so sure the Conservatives might bang him up for 10 years while they're letting paedophiles out with a slap on the wrist. Morality is entirely subjective. So to a Conservative, it's perfectly okay to evade taxes, although you have enough money in the bank to feed the entire damned UK. while, as I say, at the same time, in point of fact, ensuring that many, many poor people die. You're made homeless, you're out on the streets, you die. Simple. Or if you're on sanctions and you can't get a job, same thing. I've never seen anything like this last government. I'm 61 years old. In the last 6 years, this is the most disgusting government I've ever seen. It even outstinks Thatcher's government, although the miners might not agree with me on that one. I used to live in a little village called Godregraig, which was a former mining village, and most of the people there were unemployed. Thanks to Maggie Thatcher, you couldn't mention her name. And I'm quite sure that when she died, there would have been a massive, massive street party down there. I wish I'd still been there to join in with it. And yes, there were a heck of a lot of drug dealers around. Couldn't believe it. There I was in a little hamlet in the mountains. And I very rapidly became aware of the drug dealers. I went into a pub on my own, and these very, very kind people invited me to join them, and I thought, oh, how nice. And then they offered me some fluffies. I don't know, something like that. And I got the general idea as to what they were, and I said no thanks. But that never ever happened to me in the city of Southampton. Never, ever, ever. I think I met a drug dealer once in Southampton. I was introduced to him by a friend, not with any idea of selling or purchasing. She just knew him. I want to beg your pardon, of course, at the inquest of Fiona. Almost certainly Robin Stoddart was dealing. I think it's generally acknowledged that Wales is an awful lot poorer than England, and I know of drug dealers everywhere. Everywhere. And of course, Tories would shout, oh, immoral, immoral, immoral. No more so than Big Pharma, and probably less so. And hey, if your job as a miner, etc., 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 has been taken away from you, and Remploy, which retrains people to give them the right skills for other jobs, has also been taken away, which it has, what the hell are you supposed to do? Because very few people are going to lie down and die because the bloody Tories tell them to. Unless, of course, they're terminally ill to start with, in which case we don't have much choice. If I saw somebody nicking makeup from a shop, I would be, I think, what the hell? What are you doing that for? But if I saw someone stealing food from a shop, I would probably turn a blind eye. Wouldn't have once, but I would now. For the matter of that, if it was Christmas time and I saw them stealing toys for their kids, I would probably turn a blind eye. Morals are not only subjective, but they change with the times. In the world I used to know, when the poor were more or less taken care of, and had just about enough to subsist on, although I must admit when my temp jobs ran out and I couldn't get another job for love nor money, I was struggling, very much struggling. And of course the other well-known profession that people will turn to when the alternative is starvation is prostitution. And I am pretty sure that down in the little village of Godregraig there were a few former prostitutes from Thatcher's regime. Just a feeling. Just something from the old women down there, just a feeling that when times had been rough, to feed their kids, that's what they'd probably done. And why not? I am old-fashioned in one way. I consider the real crimes to be those that hurt other people badly. The biggie being murder, of course. Torture, a close second. Rape of anyone, but especially of a child. If I were to redraw the Ten Commandments, it wouldn't be quite the same as Christopher Hitchens. From previous videos, people would probably gather that honouring my mother and father would be absolutely nowhere on the list. They didn't deserve it. So my personal opinion, at the end of the day, like Pat Gondell, I'm still basically, somewhere in my heart and soul, whatever is left of them, basically a socialist. So my crimes would tend to be crimes of survival, or helping other people to survive. They would not include having millions in the bank and finding ways to boost them to be billions. Especially not while telling everybody else to go and bloody well starve to death.